Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called Black Cats. The first time Aldrian Grose saw the black cat, it was sitting in the middle of the road like it owned the night. He was driving through Mansfield, headlights cutting through a stretch of empty backroad that locals avoided after dark. The GPS had glitched out miles ago, and his phone showed no signal, just a frozen map and a blinking arrow that didn't move no matter how far he drove. The cat didn't flinch when the car approached. Aldrian slowed. Its eyes reflected his headlights, but not like normal. There was something deeper there, like looking into a tunnel instead of a surface. Endless. Watching. "Yeah, I'm not doing this tonight," he muttered. He tapped the horn. Nothing. The cat tilted its head. Then, without moving its body, its eyes shifted, looking past him. As if something inside the car had caught its attention. Aldrian's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He glanced in the rearview mirror. Empty backseat. When he looked forward again, the cat was gone. No running, no blur of motion. Just gone. Aldrian had come to Mansfield for a reason. 3 weeks earlier, his older sister, Marin, had vanished. The police called it a missing persons case. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, no real leads. Just one strange detail. The last photo she sent him. It was taken at night. Grainy, dark. A narrow street, old houses. And sitting on a porch railing behind her. 3 black cats. All staring directly at the camera. At first, Aldrian thought it was coincidence. Until he zoomed in. Their eyes didn't reflect light like normal animals. They looked aware. He checked into a rundown motel just off the highway. The kind with flickering lights and a front desk clerk who didn't ask questions. "Not many visitors this time of year," the clerk said without looking up. Aldrian forced a smile. "Yeah, just passing through." The clerk finally met his eyes. For a split second, something felt wrong. Like the man wasn't fully there. Then it passed. "You hear about the cats?" the clerk asked casually. Aldrian froze. "What?" The man shrugged. "People always are." Aldrian laughed it off. "No, just visiting family." The clerk nodded slowly. "Sure you are." That night, Aldrian couldn't sleep. At first, it was just the usual, creaking pipes, distant traffic, the hum of a cheap air conditioner. Then came the scratching. Soft. Deliberate. Right outside his door. He sat up. The scratching continued, slow and patient, like something testing the surface. "A cat," he whispered to himself. But something about it didn't feel right. Cats didn't scratch like that. This was measured. Intentional. He got out of bed and approached the door. The scratching stopped. Silence. Aldrian hesitated, then leaned forward and looked through the peephole. At first, he saw nothing. Then, an eye. Pressed right up against the glass. Not human. Not fully animal. A slit pupil, wide and unblinking. Aldrian stumbled back. The doorknob rattled. Once. Twice. Then it stopped. No footsteps. No sound of something leaving. Just silence. The next morning, Aldrian found claw marks on the outside of the door. Deep ones. Too deep for a normal cat. He left the motel immediately. The locals didn't talk much. Every time he brought up his sister, conversations got short. Eyes dropped. Doors closed. Until he met Lena. She worked at a small diner near the edge of town. She was about his age, sharp-eyed, and didn't pretend everything was normal. "You're looking for someone," she said, setting down his coffee. Aldrian nodded. "My sister. Marin Grose." Lena didn't react immediately. But her hand paused just slightly. You shouldn't be asking about people who disappear here, she said quietly. Aldrian leaned forward. You know something. She glanced around the diner. Then sat down across from him. Have you seen them yet? She asked. The cats. Lena nodded. They're not just animals. Not here. Aldrian didn't speak. They belong to something, she continued. A group. Old. Quiet. Been here longer than most of the town. A cult, Aldrian said. Lena's eyes flicked up. We don't call it that out loud. Aldrian felt a chill run down his spine. What did they do? Lena hesitated. Then she said it. They don't worship the cats. They become them. That night, Lena took him to the outskirts of Mansfield. Deep into a wooded area where the road turned to dirt and the trees blocked out the sky. There's an old house up ahead, she said. No one lives there, not officially. Aldrian swallowed. And my sister. Lena didn't answer. They parked and continued on foot. The woods were too quiet. No insects, no wind. Just the sound of their footsteps. Then, a low, collective sound. Not quite a growl. Not quite a whisper. Aldrian froze. Do you hear that? Lena nodded. They're close. They reached a clearing. And there it was. An old house, sagging and dark. But the windows. They glowed faintly. And perched along the roof, the fence, the trees surrounding it. Dozens of black cats. All watching. All perfectly still. Aldrian's chest tightened. This isn't normal. No, Lena said. It isn't. The front door creaked open on its own. Inviting them in. Inside, the air felt thick. Heavy. Like breathing through something unseen. The walls were covered in strange markings, symbols that twisted and looped in ways that made Aldrian's eyes hurt if he stared too long. At the center of the room. A circle. And inside it. People. Standing perfectly still. Eyes closed. Around them, black cats moved slowly, brushing against their legs. Aldrian scanned their faces. Then. He saw her. Marin. She stood among them. Unmoving. Eyes closed. Marin, he shouted, rushing forward. Lena grabbed his arm. Don't. Too late. Aldrian stepped into the circle. Every cat in the room turned at once. Their eyes locked onto him. The people's eyes opened. All at the same time. And they weren't their own. They were the same as the cats. Endless. Watching. A voice filled the room. Not from one person. From all of them. You came back for her. Aldrian backed up. What did you do to her? She chose us. No, you took her. A soft, almost amused sound echoed. Nothing is taken, only given. Marin stepped forward. Her movements were slow, unnatural. Like something else was controlling her body. Aldrian, she said. But her voice layered with something deeper. Something older. You don't understand yet. Aldrian shook his head. Come with me, we can leave. Marin smiled. A small, wrong smile. You already stayed. The cats moved closer. Dozens of them. Circling him. Their bodies brushing against his legs. And suddenly. Aldrian felt it. A pressure in his head. A whisper. Not words. Not exactly. More like, thoughts that weren't his. Let us in. He clutched his head. Get out. Lena grabbed him. You have to fight it. But the pressure grew stronger. Images flashed. People walking. Talking. Living. And something else inside them. Watching through their eyes. Waiting. Aldrian dropped to his knees. No, no. Marin knelt in front of him. You don't have to be afraid, she said softly. It doesn't hurt. The cats pressed closer. Their eyes glowing faintly in the dark. You'll never be alone again. Aldrian screamed. And then, everything went quiet. He woke up outside. Cold ground beneath him. Morning light filtering through the trees. Lena was gone. The house. Gone. No clearing, no structure. Just forest. Aldrian sat up slowly. What happened? His head throbbed. But otherwise, he felt fine. Better than fine. Clear. Sharp. He stood up. And that's when he noticed something strange. The world felt closer. Like he could feel things he shouldn't. Hear distant movement. See subtle shifts in light. He turned his head. And spotted a black cat sitting on a nearby rock. It stared at him. Aldrian stared back. And without thinking, he reached for it. Not physically. Mentally. The world lurched. Suddenly. He wasn't standing in the forest anymore. He was lower. Closer to the ground. His vision sharper. Colors different. He looked down. Pause. Black fur. Aldrian jerked back. And snapped into his own body again. Breathing hard. What was that? The cat blinked slowly. Then walked away. Aldrian returned to town. Everything seemed normal. Too normal. People walked the streets. Talked. Laughed. But now, he could see it. The slight delay in their expressions. The way some eyes lingered too long. The subtle, shared awareness. Like something was watching through all of them. He went back to the motel. The clerk smiled when he entered. Find what you were looking for. Aldrian hesitated. Then said slowly. Yes. The clerk nodded. Good. Aldrian turned to leave. Then paused. Hey, he said, how long have you been part of it? The clerk's smile widened slightly. Long enough. That night, Aldrian sat on the edge of his bed. Thinking. Feeling that presence in the back of his mind. Waiting. Patient. Then. His phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. He opened it. A photo. Taken just moments ago. Of him. Sitting on the bed. From the corner of the room. Aldrian's blood ran cold. He slowly turned his head. The corner. Empty. But the message continued. A second image. This time. From above. Looking down at him. Then a third. From behind. Watching him. Always watching. Then, finally. A text. You see now. Aldrian's hands trembled. Another message appeared. You're not just looking for your sister anymore. A pause. Then. You're one of us. Aldrian slowly raised his head. His reflection stared back at him from the dark TV screen across the room. But something was wrong. His eyes. They weren't his anymore. The pupils narrowed. Sharpened. Like a cat's. And behind them. Something else moved. Something ancient. Something smiling. Outside, on the motel railing. A line of black cats sat in silence. Watching the room. Waiting. And inside. Aldrian Grose smiled back. Just a little too wide. To be continued.